What's happening, guys? I think I've disappeared. I'm back. I think I'm back. I don't know. I don't know if the Matrix is trying to come for my. I've gone off again. Anyways, what's happening, guys? Match reaction. Full Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0. Guys, do let me know if you can hear me properly and if my stream's going okay. Because I think that the stream is trying to. I think I'm being compromised right now. But anyways, let's get it. Match reaction. Let's go. Finally beat him. Finally beat them outside of Wembley. Finally beat him. Anyways, let me give you my thoughts on the game, right? I thought as a neutral, if it was a neutral, sorry, I thought it was an all right game, really. It was end to end to the degree of what was happening in the middle of the park and defensively. You know what I mean? But attacking wise, you know what I mean? Both teams was lacking. I mean, City had more clear cut chances in the first half. Obviously Declan Rice, man like Deckers. Made a goal line clearance. But no, I don't. You want a crap game or anything like that, and that's if you're looking at it from a neutral standpoint. From an Arsenal standpoint, it was very frustrating, and it wasn't. There was no excitement in terms of we're gonna do something because we've been here before. We've seen this before. We've seen this plenty of times before where we've controlled the game and done all this. In fact, the game when we lost to City on New Year's Day of 2022, I think it was. Or was it 2021? One of them ones. And we lost 2-1. We probably played similar to how we played, but then we put our chance away, and then moment of madness, and the game ends up being 2-1 after we get a red card. You know what I mean? This was the best we played since then at home. You know what I mean? But this time, we came away with the 3 points. Man like Big Gabs fam, aka Martinelli, my G. Now, there, as I was saying, the game was very frustrating because, like I said, we've seen this before. But as the game went on, 0-0, 0-0, 0-0, it got to a point where I was thinking to myself, are we really gonna draw 0-0 with these man? You know what I mean? Because when you look back at it, like, what did City have up front? Because Haaland was like non-existent. This is probably the worst I've seen of Haaland right now. And I thought that he'd score in this game because Arsenal are that type of team that resuscitates teams, demise, basically. But we held our own and we did what we did. Now, when it comes to decisions in the game, I'm going to be talking about the referee and the VAR as well. Kovacic was lucky to still be on that pitch, right? Let's face it, he was lucky to still be on the pitch. The tackle from behind, or the foul, should I say, from behind on Odegaard. I don't know if he's still getting PTSD from the Community Shield when Odegaard twisted him up and then tapped him on the back after he did it. It might be that. Maybe he's got PTSD from that. But that was a red card, right? We've seen plenty of times players get sent off for that, right? He gets a yellow. Okay. Yellow card, that's a warning. That means that you can't do something like that again. What is he going to do? This time on Declan Rice, a tackle from behind. You know what I mean? VAR had to look at the first one and be like, no, it's not a red card. But then they couldn't look at the second one. You know why they didn't look at the second one? Because they know they'd have to send him off. You know what I mean? I knew straight away when he made that challenge on Rice, I knew straight away he is not coming off. They're not going to give anything for that. I knew that. City doesn't look the same. Not without Rodri. I mean, notice how the games that Rodri didn't play, they all lost them all. I mean, Newcastle in the cup, Wolves, then us. That's no Rodri. I mean, so I don't want to. I don't want to hear no City fan talking about. Oh, we didn't have Rodri. That's why he beat us. I'm sure City fans are smarter than that. You know what I mean? These men had Haaland, 52 goals in all competitions last season. No excuse, right? I'm sure City fans are as deluded as United fans because when we beat United here last season, 3-2, Nketiah, 90th minute goal, right? What was I hearing from these man, especially a man like Ransom Bance, right? If we had Casemiro, would have beaten you. So what did we do this season? We went and gone beat them 3-1, a better scoreline, with Casemiro playing. You know what I mean? So I'm sure City fans aren't gonna go down that route of we didn't have Rodri, that's why he won kind of thing. But I will say, because they didn't have Rodri in the last 2 games that they lost, and then the game that they won, he was there. And then this game, the last game of his suspension, they're going to lose. It does show that they've got some weakness. But at the same time, we beat them in the Community Shield when they had Rodri. So, you know what I mean? As much as I wanted City to win, you wanted City to win. Arsenal deserved it 100%. Damn right we deserved it 100%. If we did not win this game, it would have been a travesty. I mean, it would have been bang out of order. It would have been like, you know what I mean? But instead, it turned from that to this. I mean, so we did our job. But anyways, let me get back onto the game. Kovacic should have seen red. Should have seen red from the first challenge, and then somehow he gets away with it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and there's me. I'm there thinking this guy will probably end up getting a winner or something because we've seen this before. I remember when Jorginho should have been sent off for Chelsea against us at the Emirates, and then he goes and gets a winner. You know what I mean? But first half, we went into the break 0-0, and most Arsenal fans would have been happy with that because it's like, well, we're not losing, and City are champions, and we were not that good against them usually. It's been 12 games and all that stuff, blah blah blah. I'm looking at it as we're at home. Why aren't we putting our chances away? I watched the Community Shield highlights at halftime, and I'm looking at the chances that we created in that game, and I'm thinking, where's that? Where was that? Why is it that at Wembley we're just different? Then the second half comes round, and I was fuming that he took off Trossard. It wasn't about Martinelli coming on. Did not mind Martinelli coming on. You know what I mean? But you take off Trossard, the sacrificial lamb. You are always, Arteta's always going to sacrifice Trossard. You know what I mean? You're telling me Nketiah played better than Trossard in that game? Okay, Nketiah had a chance, and look how wide he put it. You know what I mean? He had Declan Rice that overlapped him. If he wanted to be slick, he could have just poked it to Declan Rice, and he could have took a shot. You know what I mean? But it paid off. It paid off. Oops. Jesus is your best player, not looking at stats or anything, just pure football and ability. On the pitch tonight, I'd say what he showed, even though he does roll around a little bit too much, at the same time, the type of player he is going to get players, fouling him and everything that anyway. In terms of that, he's a decent replacement for Saka. It just needs that. For example, if we had a striker like an Ivan Toney, a Harry Kane, or someone like that, and you had Jesus on the right, that shit works. You know what I mean? That shit would work because Jesus would do what he's doing on the right. So I think he's better on the wing anyway. He will do what he's doing from the right and then drag it into the middle. You know what I mean? But when you've got, I mean, it's not really going to work out as such. You know what I mean? But I didn't really have too much of an issue with Jesus today. Just the end product, really, and that's more the only thing. Well, the main thing, really, it's the end product of what you're doing now. It needs to result in something because when he's on a wing, it seems like he has to then do the striker's role more as well. Whereas if you had a world class striker and you had Jesus on a wing, that shit works. That works. You know what I mean? But when he took off Trossard at halftime, I was thinking to myself, the most intelligent thing you could have done there was took off Nketiah, maybe even moved Jesus in the middle, or put Trossard in the middle and had Martinelli on the left. So you got a front three of Martinelli, Trossard, and Jesus. That would have been about our best front three on the night. You know what I mean? That maybe would have won the game sooner, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Well, we would have scored sooner, let's just say. You know what I mean? But in all fairness, other than that, Saliba was class. Ben White was. I mean, Zinchenko again is showing he's not a defender. You know what I mean? In all fairness, Tomiyasu needs to be starting ahead of Zinchenko. Tomiyasu pre-assist for the goal, by the way. Tomiyasu hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come back from injury. Since he's come back into this team, he hasn't put a foot wrong. You know what I mean? He was our best player in the Champions League the other night, right? The only player that played good. Like, Tomiyasu has shown he is more useful than Zinchenko. I would say the back four right now needs to be Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Tomiyasu. You know what I mean? Bear in mind, we still got Timber to come back, you know. Like, Timber still needs to come back. So that's more quality going in at the back. But Tomiyasu, for me, when you look at the players that we have now in terms of that defensively, for me, Tomiyasu's earned his stripes to stay at Arsenal for just that little bit longer at the moment. At the moment, he's earned his stripes that much. Because, like, we got rid of a proper left back in Kieran Tierney, right? Obviously, Kiwi was a centre back, but he can't even get games. But Tomiyasu, you can play right back, left back. Like, you could just bring Zinchenko on in midfield. You know what I mean? Now, another sub that made a difference, and I can't even stunt, right? Kai Havertz. The guy got an assist, right? And Arteta put him on as a striker, right? And he came on, and apart from scoring himself, he actually did his job. Make yourself useful, Havertz, and in this game he did. Tomiyasu with a header to Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz probably might have gone for goal himself, but because he was nudged by the defender, I think it was Ake or someone. He was nudged, so he was like knocked off balance, so he had to pass the ball. Passes it to Martinelli. Martinelli cools you like, bam, straight off Nathan Ake's nugget, bam, into that back of the net. You know what I mean? Keeping a clean sheet in this game as well at home. Neymar finishing is not world class as well, but he does the job. That's what I think for Jesus too. Arteta needs to learn how to use his weapons. And this is what I mean about having someone in the middle. If you have someone in the middle if you have a world class striker in the middle and you got Jesus on that right hand side, his end product can just be the case of he passes to that striker and then that striker does the rest. You know what I mean? But when you don't have a world class striker in the middle, but you've got Jesus doing all what he's doing, his end products could be like I passed to Nketiah and it results in nothing. It's going to make Jesus look bad because it's like, well, you could have done something because you're the better player. You know what I mean? For centre backs, Tommy, Gabriel, Saliba, White. Kai wasn't shy today. He wasn't. You know what I mean? I mean, he does stand there like a lemon, right? And just looks useless. He doesn't make runs. He doesn't. I don't even know if I don't know if he's got pace. The last time I seen him run was when when he put the ball in the back of the net in the Champions League final against Man City for Chelsea. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that our system has him being. I don't know, but he's today he did his job, but that doesn't mean that I'd want him to start or anything like that in the next games or whatever. He's a better striker than Nketiah. That's where he needs to be used. I would, if Kai Havertz can do something like this every time he comes on, then I don't mind him coming on if he can make an assist. But I would rather us bring Kai Havertz on as a striker than bring him on or start him as a midfielder. I don't want him in midfield. I would rather have him up front because if he's going to do anything, it's more likely going to be the ball ricochet to him or some shit, and then he puts it in the back of the net or something. You know what I mean? Raya was too shaky. Arsenal was looking out to concede, and I was just about to get on Raya as well because David Raya, right? What he did, it was show the world this is why Ramsdale gets benched because of this. We almost conceded. Alvarez closed him down. We're lucky that the ball didn't ricochet into the net. You know what I mean? Ramsdale did this in the Community Shield, and Haaland closed him down. And we were lucky that didn't go in the back of the net. I don't know what it is about goalkeepers. You got the ball, hoof it up the pitch. Find someone. Hope for the best. Just stop pissing around. Just stop pissing around in your own penalty box. Stop doing it. You know what I mean? The thing is, Raya is going to keep doing that. And we're going to concede similar goals than what we did last season. And then we're going to look at David Raya and be like, well, hang on a minute. Ramsdale did this and he got benched for it. So why are you starting then? We might as well just stick with Ramsdale then. You know what I mean? But he kept a clean sheet. And to be fair, I mean, other than them clear chances that they had, Nathan Ake hit over the bar in the first half. He should have buried that. Haaland was kept quiet. Like it's almost like Haaland turned into Kai Havertz. You know what I mean? Haaland turned into Norwegian Kai Havertz in that game. It was absolutely useless. But this time, the German Kai Havertz actually did something, and he assisted the goal, Martinelli's winner. Raya and Ramsdale, the Chuckle brothers, same level keepers, and they technically are same level as well. The stats are very similar of what of last season and all that, but we're not gonna be any better when the going gets tough. If Raya's gonna keep on doing goofiness like that, he needs to stop doing that, and it needs to be stopped from now. Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? You're there because it was shit like that that got Ramsdale on the bench. It was. You know what I mean? Now, they brought on Man City. They brought on Doku, who I thought was going to be a threat. Turns out he's a Belgian version of Saint Maximum. I don't know what nationality Saint Maximum is, actually. I'm sure it's French. I don't think he's Belgian. But anyways, Doku, the Belgian Saint Maximum, pace, but What did you do otherwise other than try and use your pace and flair? Man did nothing. You know what I mean? I think City's subs were a bit suspect from their point of view. They took off Alvarez, who's been a better player than Haaland this season, and left on Haaland. Now I can understand to a degree because you can use Haaland to flick on the ball and everything like that with his presence, but Saliba had Haaland in his back pocket. Like Haaland wasn't doing anything, fam. You know what I mean? Erling who, fam? He wasn't doing nothing. You know what I mean, but this fixture last season, what was he doing? Man scored and then took his hair down and scored. Man was flexing. It's like, well, fam. You know what I mean? Man didn't get that joy this time. Haaland's in a goal drought right now. He ain't playing that well. He needs De Bruyne. You know what I mean? Like, if you've got cornflakes in your bowl and you don't have a spoon, how are you eating it? You know what I mean? You don't want to eat it with your hands. Well, you want to get milk and everything all over your hands. No, you don't. You know what I mean? Neither does Haaland. You know what I mean? But his spoon is missing, aka De Bruyne, fam. So they'll get Rodri back and then they'll start winning again. That's what will happen. But the concern is Haaland is got the Havertz virus. You know what I mean? Where you're just there, but it's like, what's the point in you being there? You're just being there. That's the best way I could describe it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm proud of the boys today. I don't even think Jorginho had a bad game, and I was disappointed that he was starting. But I don't even think he had a bad game. In all fairness, he did his job. Declan Rice, brilliant. You know what I mean? Declan Rice justified why we paid what we paid for him. You know what I mean? It's games like this where you need to be on it. And you know what I mean? And he was on it like a car bonnet. You know what I mean? But Nketiah's not it, man. I have to say Nketiah's not it. Martinelli came back from injury, gets the winner. He has to get another Don DeMarco for that. Don DeMarco. He has to. You know what I mean? Comes on and does that for us. You know what I mean? And we did this and we had no Saka. You know what I mean? It was fair to leave Saka out of this game. You know what I mean? Because you can't risk it. You just can't risk it. You know what I mean? And thankfully, it paid off because we got the 3 points. You know what I mean? Because it was looking bulky for us to just, completely leave Saka out of the team, and then if we didn't win or if we'd have lost, you know what I mean? It would have been like, oh, we'll Arsenal need Saka, mate. You know what I mean? But we've actually shown now we don't necessarily need him to win certain games, basically. You know what I mean? So we've actually shown we can rest Saka. We can bench him. We can do that. If he's a bit hurt and he came off in that game, we can do that. Because Arteta never felt that he could before. But this time he had to. You know what I mean? But it's international break, and we know that Saka's going to be playing the games that England are going to be playing. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of hoping that he comes back fit. Realistically, I don't want him playing it. And I think Arsenal should intervene and say, look, Saka's not going to the internationals. He's not. I know you picked him, but I'm stomping down on it. I'm standing on it. You know what I mean? You're not playing him. If you're going to play him, he's not starting the game. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm just happy that we finally beat them. You know, we're keeping the pressure on Spurs. I mean, if let's just say the title race is us and Spurs, right? I'll be less worried because it's Spurs. You know what I mean? I'd only be worried if we were in it and Spurs were in it. If it's anybody else with Spurs, then I'm going to be a little bit like, oh, well, our Spurs are going to crumble because we expect them to. But if it's us, because I believe that Arsenal are gonna be in a place of. I know we cocked up the league last season, but there's no way Jose Enrique. Let me just get my picture. Let me just get my picture. I know we cocked up the league last season, but there is no way Jose Enrique are we going to bottle it to Spurs. Nope. That might be the mindset of Arsenal. But Arteta needs to sort out his decision making if we're going to be anything like that, because it paid off today. You know, he brought on Martinelli, and Martinelli got the winner. But it's who he took off was a problem. It wasn't who he brought on; it was who he took off. Bear in mind, Trossard is the player he brought on in the Community Shield and then got us the equaliser. Trossard's the reason why Arteta has more Community Shields than Brendan Rodgers now. Hence, he's topped Brendan Rodgers now in England. You know what I mean? And this is how you repay him. You know what I mean? So Trossard, we know, can't afford to have a shit game, really, because he's getting hoofed off. Yet Nketiah can just... Nketiah is just being an English Havertz. You know what I mean? Just there, but no, in fact, no, I won't say that, because Nketiah does do a bit more than Havertz. He does try and, he does press and use his strength and everything like that. So he actually does do more than Havertz. So I take that back. But I don't think maybe a formation of like a 4-3-3. I don't think that suits Nketiah. I think he suits a formation where maybe a 4-4-2 or something, and he's with another striker, so he can do all the leg work kind of thing. I mean, I just thought maybe this formation ain't for him. Arsenal can't win the league. Arteta lottery manager. Arsenal bottle it against Spurs. Well, Arsenal better not bottle it against Spurs. If we're in the title race and it's going to be between us and Spurs, we we bottle it to Spurs. Arteta will not be the manager next season. I'm telling you, if he's either going to get sacked or he's quitting. If he loses the league to Spurs, I promise you, he's not going to be the Arsenal manager next season. I mean, that would be the worst. He'd go down as the worst Arsenal manager in the entire history, in Premier League history anyway. Losing the league out to Spurs, nah. These men haven't won the league title in colour, fam. You know what I mean? Spurs haven't won the league title. Last time Spurs won the league title, my mum wasn't even born, fam. You know what I mean? Imagine North London title race and Arsenal lose it. That would be the end of the world. I mean, if that happens, I'm telling you, it'd be game over for Arteta. He will not be welcome back in North London again. You know what I mean? So he better take that league. You know what I mean? Arsenal Antique Roadshow. Arteta better go through Champions League group. Big problems. Well, I know one thing I do know is it's going to be one or the other. We're either going to challenge for the league or we're going to challenge for the Champions League. Can't do both. You know what I mean? Can't do both. Squad's too light. There's not enough quality for us to maintain that high intensity. You know what I mean? But if we are going to try and do it, right, then this Arsenal team would have to turn around and say, play the kids in the FA Cup, play the kids in the League Cup. You know what I mean? Because I can't see Arsenal challenging on all four fronts. Can't. You know what I mean? And then Spurs, we look at Spurs, they've got one game a week. That's not necessarily beneficial. You know what I mean? Because if they cock up in a game, they've got a whole week to think about it. I mean, you don't want to be in that place of you've got a whole week to think about it. You've got too long to think about it. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting how they deal with that, because they'll drop points this season, and they'll drop points where it's going to hurt. Then they'll have a whole week to think about it. Whereas, providing Arsenal in all competitions and whatever, we've got Champions League anyway. It's providing we stay in Europe, we'll have a game in between. So I'd want Arsenal to have as much games as possible, Because when it comes to a title race, we'd have all week to think about it. I suppose that kind of contradicts what I said earlier about Arsenal. Probably, if Arsenal are going to challenge for the league and the Champions League, they'll probably just play the kids in the League Cup and FA Cup to have a chance of doing it. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's injuries. We know how injury prone our players are. You know what I mean? Our players are injury prone to Ras. Jeff Jarrett, you good boy, up gunners all day. Arteta got lucky. He bought race manager. Arteta's lucky that he's sub paid off because that could have gone another way, really. You know what I mean? Taking off Trossard when you could have left him on and had him and Martinelli at the same time. But ultimately, it paid off because the sub scored. Ultimately, it paid off. So I'm happy. I'm happy with that. But I just don't like this treatment that Trossard's getting. Trossard's getting the treatment as if he's done something wrong, and it's like Trossard won you the Community Shield single-handedly. Really, I mean, he won you the Community Shield, and this is how you're repaying him. It's not right, man. Arteta cheap version, youth coach Steve McLaren. We need manager. Well, if the next manager of Arsenal hasn't got a Champions League medal, I'm not interested. I mean, absolute bare minimum, a manager that's been to Champions League final or two, bare minimum. But I would rather the next Arsenal manager be one that's won the Champions League. So he knows what it's like to go through all that. He knows. And he can tell this team. But when you've got a manager, I've never done all that, it gets difficult. You know what I mean? And how long are you gonna give the manager? You know what I mean? A lot of Arsenal rivals in the mud right tonight. These men who put bets to City to win felt like this game could go either way, though, with both club situations. Oh, then let me get onto that. Actually, yeah, let me get onto that. Right, I seen Rance's video, the watch along that he did. Right, the last. Well, I'm going to react to it anyway. If you go 2.5 hours, about 2.5 hours in, right? He gets comments in Arsenal fans spamming his chat, talking about he's jealous and blah blah blah. And then man brings up that, oh, we've won 13 Premier Leagues and you've only won 3, mate. How can we be jealous of that? Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man United are not envious of Arsenal when you look at the success. You know what I mean? Bear in mind, this is the same guy who spent last season, apart from hyping up Ten Heisenberg, you know what I mean, brown nosing him, apart from him doing that, man was there all over Arsenal, anything praying Arsenal would lose and everything like that, getting upset pretty much deep down when Arsenal kept winning games that he didn't think we would. And then when Arsenal did the inevitable in bottling the league, what did he do? Did a live stream outside the Emirates Stadium. You know what I mean? All because he wanted Man City to stop Arsenal winning the league. But yet he's talking about Man U having what 13 Premier League titles to R3. What harm would it have been for Arsenal to get a fourth Premier League title, right? We still would have been way behind Man United anyway. You know what I mean? But he'd rather his noisy neighbours win the Premier League just so Arsenal don't win it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be doing a reaction to Rance's video. So yeah, stay tuned for that, guys. But yeah, a lot of rival fans are in the mud because they were praying. Well, they were expecting really. They were expecting Man City to roll us over, and I thought that if Arteta gets it wrong, they'll roll us over. If he gets it right, we'll draw 2-2. That was my match prediction, but he got it right, and we won 1-0. But yeah, they are in the mud. They're not happy that we've done that because last season they were happy that we got beat 3 times by these men. You know what I mean? I think it's we're 3-2 behind now in the calendar year. They've beaten us 3 times this year. We've beaten them twice. Well, if you want to count the Community Shield, because we drew the match, but you know how it goes. You know what I mean? But yeah, rival fans are in the mud. Suck it up, fam. You know what I mean? Suck it up. Nobody. I'm not saying that we're gonna win the league or anything like that, but these man are looking at us a bit differently now. You know what I mean? These men are looking at us two bit different now. Now, what they'll do is they'll put all their faith into Spurs. Should it be that it's Arsenal and Spurs that are going to be up there for the majority of the season? You know what I mean? And if Arsenal were to pull it off, then it's going to be a whole lot of
emotional damage.
So, yeah, but I'm not getting carried away or anything because end of the day, I know what fixtures we have towards the back end of the season, and for me, it's all about what are we going to be doing then. You know what I mean? Because we've got Spurs last game of April, and then we've got Man United away on last second to last game of the season. Our last away game is Man United. You know what I mean? These will be two teams, and we go to them as well. These will be two teams that will be absolutely itching to stop Arsenal possibly winning the league. Should we be in a title race up until that point? And I've seen the way we bottled top four by bottling 3 games in a row. I've seen how we bottled the league by bottling 3 games in a row. And it was all at the back end of the season. So for me, there's nothing I can get fooled by because we're not at that stage. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to be excited. I'm happy that we won and everything like that, but it's just hard for me to truly be happy because I know that when it comes to that end of the season, that's when you've got to then get out them dirty wins. That's when the way we started the season, not playing that good but winning, that's when you have to do that. You know what I mean? Everyone was so sure we lose, and I get it as we could have easily lost, but now we didn't lose. I want to know what excuses from these men will be now, and yeah, especially rants. Well, what they'll turn around and say is, "They didn't have Rodri, mate." That'll be their excuse. But if City fans are smart, which compared to Man United fans, I think they are, they'll still look at it and say, "Well, hang on, we didn't have Rodri, but we still should have beaten you, man." I mean, we had a 52 goal scorer in this team, 52 goals in all competitions last season, still should have beaten us. That's how Man City, a smart Man City fan would look at it. You know what I mean? But as I said, last season, when we beat Man United, what were they saying? "Oh, if we had Casemiro, we would have beaten you." So this season, when we played Man United, we beat them 3-1 with Casemiro in the team. I mean, and I'm still expecting these man because this Amrabat guy will probably get going and he'll look all right. And I'm expecting these man to turn around and say, "If we had Amrabat, man, it'd have beaten you." So next season at the Emirates, we'll just beat him 3-0 when he's playing. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'd love to know what people's excuses are going to be. "Oh, well, City had injuries." You see, the thing is, right? We've lost. I said in my match preview, we've lost to some teams, right, that we shouldn't have lost to injuries. We've lost at home and away to teams that were in an injury crisis, and we had a fully fit team. You know what I mean? We've seen that. So if anyone's going to try and use well, we didn't have Kevin De Bruyne, didn't have this, well, we didn't have Saka then. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't have Saka. I mean, I could go as far as saying defensively we didn't have Timber, and he was fantastic for us in the Community Shield. You know what I mean? Some would say, "Oh, but it was Community Shield, it was only a friendly, mate." Still have to perform. You know what I mean? Still pressure on you. You're at Wembley. You know what I mean? First game of the season for for teams that were worthy of being in the Community Shield, even though realistically Arsenal weren't worthy to be in the Community Shield, but that's another situation. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'll probably keep my keep my ears peeled and my eyes on YouTube and see what their excuses might be. But I seen Rance's stream and man was saying about how it was a shit game and it was just piss poor basically and all that blah 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, man's only saying that because we won the game. If we'd have lost the game, it'd be a different story. I mean, you don't see any animations or emotions from this guy unless it's versus Arsenal. You know what I mean? You can go and look for yourself. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Anyways, we came out 1-0 winners. 3 points. Can't knock it. I mean, we did our job. It is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Don DeMarco's all around for the players today because they all did the job really. You know what I mean? When it comes down to it, we kept a clean sheet at home. A clean sheet at home, our first clean sheet at home, by the way. You know what I mean? And it was at home to Manchester City. They failed to if you want to count it, they put the ball in the back of the net by what's his name? The boy's name. Rico Lewis, which to be fair, in all fairness, in fact, let me just cover that. In all fairness, the referee should have let it play on. Because he was fouled, but he got up and then put the ball in the back of the net. I would admit that I would say if it was us, I would say the ref should have kept that play on. You know what I mean? So if you want to count that, count it if you want, but we kept a clean sheet. Obviously, it doesn't count towards, Rico Lewis putting the ball in the back of the net. It doesn't count towards the game was 1-1. Nope. You know what I mean? But as I said, I don't see City fans as deluders and Man United fans anyway. So yeah, but is what it is. Anyways, hold on, let me get this last comment. They will say that Arsenal will lose the title to City anyway, so the win doesn't matter. Yeah, basically, yeah. They'll say, "Oh, well, you won't win the league, man. You get beat anyway, man." That's what they'll say. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Like the video, share the video, comment, subscribe, follow all the socials below. You will not see TikTok going forward. You will not see TikTok in this link because I've quit that app. You know what I mean? I've quit TikTok. So if you see me on TikTok, go to my Instagram. You know what I mean? It's linked on there. Just go straight to Instagram. Just ignore the TikTok. TikTok is a load of crap, right? Muted my videos because of having music playing in the videos that's in my own videos, right? Because it exceeds TikTok's duration of music that you can play, because they have that bullshit 1 minute limit on music on TikTok. Because they think everyone just does 1 minute videos, even though they've got a 10-minute limit of videos anyway. I mean, it's just stupid, but yeah, TikTok won't be there, so you'll see. I don't know if my Twitter's there, but yeah, I'm more active on that more than anywhere else apart from YouTube. But yeah, blessed to you, Michael Thomas. But yeah, anyways, catch you guys in a bit. Peace.